want Katie to come forward and speak about things. Okay, Katie, take it from there.
Hi, my name is Katie Irvin. I am 14 years old and go to Lincoln Way Central High School. I'm a type 1 diabetic. Each year, more than 15,000 kids in America are diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. My year was 2006, when I was diagnosed at the age of 8. In the beginning, it wasn't too difficult to take care of myself. It was a routine I fell into a few days out of the hospital. But at the age of 8, I was too young to truly understand the meaning of diabetes, and I didn't need to with my parents by my side the whole way, helping me test my sugar and give myself insulin. Then, it was no big deal. Things began to change when I was about 13. I slowly began to test less and less. Then, I forgot to give myself the insulin I needed after a meal. Things got worse. I wasn't compliant. I didn't want to do anything. I asked myself, why me? What did I do to deserve this? Then, in 8th grade, I just shut down. I didn't want anything to do with the word diabetes. I hit a low point in my life where I refused to do anything because I just didn't care anymore. I was hospitalized multiple times, the school nurse and I began to have problems, and I didn't listen to anybody. I pretty much didn't see a way out. I expected to be in this gloom forever and feel terrible all the time. I grew used to feeling miserable, so I didn't see anything wrong with me. I got sick. I looked sick. No color to my face, dark circles under my eyes, and just looking like I had no life in me. I went months with not testing or giving myself insulin for weeks at a time. At that point, my A1C was just under 11, which means my average blood sugar was about 315. My high is supposed to be 150. I just hated the world. People explained to me multiple times the consequences of not taking care of myself. They thought I never got the message and understood it when I did, loud and clear. I told people I just needed time off, to have a break, but I guess it doesn't work like that. Those 7-8 months were probably one of the worst times in my life. I felt like I had no one, and I was all alone. I used to get so mad at my mom and dad when they told me to test and asked if I gave myself insulin. That was the one thing that pushed my buttons the most, but they asked because they cared, nothing more than that. They want to see me grow up healthy and have a future. Today, I'm taking better care of myself than I was 4 months ago. I'm not doing as well as I probably should be, but you have to work at it a little bit at a time. After camp in August, it opened up my eyes to everyone else and their struggles. We're all the same at camp. No one is judged. We all go through the same stuff, and they know how you feel. It was my first year at teen camp this year, and I loved it so much, I didn't want to leave. I signed up for the program called the Challenger. It's where you get a mentor, and there's many things you can choose to work on, like hope, responsibility, joy, and others. I chose responsibility so I can get better at taking care of myself, and to prove to everyone who thought I was never going to be responsible again that it could happen. So I talked to my mentor about ways I could improve, and wrote myself a note to open in 6 months that reminded me what I have to do. On Thursday night of camp, 3 of the girls cabins who signed up for the Challenger were blindfolded and taken off to someplace in the woods. When we reached our destination, we were seated and told to take off our blindfolds. We were all seated around a fire, and they placed a rock in our hand that was painted the color of what we challenged. We were told this was the safest circle in the world, and nothing would leave there. There was a stick being passed around, allowing us to speak. I can't tell you what was said, but it was a relief to know I wasn't alone with what I was feeling and going through. I wish I shared what I was feeling and what was going on in my life, but I know for next time. I feel like camp changed me, even though it was my 5th year going. I cried for 3 hours after I left, wishing I could stay there forever. You build a special relationship with your friends at camp, and I didn't want to leave them or the safe haven camp was for me. After camp, I changed my ways. I'm giving myself insulin now, testing, and just feeling a lot better these days. Life as a diabetic hasn't always been easy, nor do I think it will be in the future. But the way I look at it now is I was meant to have this disease so I can change other people's lives and have the challenges that will make me make me the person I'm going to grow up to be. The one thing that makes me happy about the whole situation is being able to spread awareness and advocate what diabetes truly is. I used to stay very involved, jumping at every opportunity for me to talk about diabetes. But when I gave up on taking care of myself, I gave up on staying involved and trying to help others. I regret that. It was the one thing that made me feel good about myself. Now I'm ready to get involved again and share my story about how difficult life is with diabetes, hoping it will give others comfort, letting them know they are not alone. I can promise things do get better, and a lot of other kids know exactly what you are feeling. Now my next goal is trying to be the National Youth Ambassador. That would mean a lot to me. Being able to spread awareness and spread the word how this disease is not easy and is a daily struggle for all of us. I made it through and so can others. You just can't give up. Thank you.
Well, I think that person who wrote Tom a letter ought to listen to Katie's testimony.